What's up, duelists? What's up, duelists? New ban list? Who dis? New ban list? Who dis? What is this? Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Keegan? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. New ban list is hype. I see everyone in the FL Discord talking about it. Make sure you're joined in the description below. I see everyone in the other Discords talking about it. Ooh, it's spicy. Let's get into some of my takes on it. Let's get into my first live reaction to this kind of thing. I'm going to be going through the ban list. I'm going to be talking about what each of the cards do. Most of my, viewers are, they're old format. They're old school duelists. But as an old school duelist, there's a lot to be excited about on this list. I think this couldn't have come at a better time for Konami. With YCSs returning to paper after COVID, this is going to be a huge renaissance for this game. I think this is one of the best ban lists we've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. And let's just get right into things. Okay, the first card to get banned is Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. Let's talk a little bit about why this card was banned. I'm going to pull it up here on Dueling Book. Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. You can see right here, it's already banned. It's already banned. So what this card does is it's a link monster. It's part of a combo with the Desk Bot. If you guys don't know this little guy, he's like a little tuner. It's a part of a combo with this guy, Halqifibrax and Despot 001. It creates a massive advantage for the player who's able to resolve it. It's not a very fun combo because every deck just has to play these very limiting cards. I'm happy it got banned. It's a little overpowered for me. It's a little overpowered and it's a little too homogenizing. It's not the most broken thing. You can still like Valor this thing and then it shuts down the combo and that's not that big of a deal, but it's insane if it resolves, and it was making it so that every deck was playing the same package. So it's kind of cool that they banned this. I'm okay with this getting banned. Also, I don't really like the artwork on this card. Like, what the hell is it? It's a plane? Like, who cares? Ban, easy ban for me. The next one, Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew. Okay, so Prank Kids is a deck that, how do I spell this? Okay, Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew. Okay, this little guy, he was limited on the last ban list. And then Prank Kids started doing really well, still, even with the limit. I think Prank Kids fell off a lot because of Despia. Despia just fucks this deck really hard. This card probably didn't need to be banned because of how badly Despia beat it, but I think Konami probably makes their decisions a little bit before the last few months of the format. Like, this was probably already on the chopping block within the first few months after they saw Prank Kids still surviving and still doing well. You don't really need to know about this card. It's just a hit on a deck that I personally dislike, so I'm pretty happy about it, but I know a lot of people enjoy the Prank Kids deck, so it's tough. It's tough. Okay, next thing, the big one everyone's talking about, Predaplant Verte Anaconda is banned. I covered this card in my 20 cards you need to know to play Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Video that just came out like yesterday or the day before or something like that. Definitely check out that video if you're looking to get into Modern Yu-Gi-Oh. That's a hit video. That's a video that'll it'll expedite your process in learning exactly what you need to know in order to play Modern Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, okay, this guy is broken. Facilitates a lot of different broken combos. He was a way to get to your Branded Fusion, your Fusion Destiny, your Red Eyes Fusion, your Super Polymerization, your whatever you wanted to, very, very easily. He's a little too generic. He limits the fusion cards they can print in the future. He limits like what you can do with decks pretty much because Verte Anaconda is just like the best thing to end on. He sets up so much advantage. It's like, okay, you take any two effect monsters, right? You make this guy. Then you summon an insane fusion monster and you get whatever you sent to the graveyard off those fusion spells, whether it's Celestial or Dasher, or you get to send Fallen of Albaz plus Tragedy or whatever. You get the idea. You get more than just a little bit of advantage from this card resolving, and it's so devastating when it does resolve that it puts the player who resolves it so far ahead. The issue that I have with banning Verte and not banning Scythe is something I'll talk about in a little bit, but Verte was one of the biggest facilitators in the Scythe lock, which is one of the worst parts, I think, of Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So, great ban. Great 3 bans. These are the only 3 bans. Very happy about that. I don't think there was anything other than Artifact Scythe I would have personally chosen to ban. There's a few other cards that are like looming. One of the biggest ones is Arch Nemesis Escados. This guy, he's kind of like, in the hemisphere of like, ooh, something's gonna break this guy, and then all of a sudden he's gonna need to get banned like Protoss, but But I think that, you know, obviously nothing's breaking him right now, so I think these 3 bans are very, very appropriate. Very appropriate. I like how Konami is approaching bans nowadays. They're like, we ban a few cards to maybe, you know, take away the homogenous metagames, like ban the Aurodarn, ban the Verte, ban the Meow Meow, so decks are forced to play like more creative, more new options. And then they also approach it that these cards hit the most unfair stuff in the format at the current time, which is like the Halqifibrax ladder and of course the Scythe Lock. Okay, let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about, which is the unbans. First one, Jet Synchron is now unbanned. Jet Synchron is now unbanned. How do I feel about Jet Synchron? It's a 1.5 card Scythe Lock, so I don't know. Obviously, you can set up the Scythe Lock in a multitude of ways, but this guy makes it easy. What can I say? I don't really think this card should have been unbanned. I don't think so. I think this card is too powerful. But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's alright. Maybe I'm capping. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what? Let me know in the comments. Alright, next one. Next card. Perform Maple Monkey Board. So these Perform Maple Monk. Okay, so these cards are pendulums. I don't know the first thing about pendulums. I'm not gonna read this. Next card. Okay, next card. Red Rose Dragon got limited. Let's talk about this because this is actually a big one. Red Rose Dragon. So Red Rose Dragon was part of the whole like Halqifibrax like broken adventure package stuff. I think this is an interesting hit to sort of affect the adventure package decks because they didn't hit any of the cards in the adventure package, which is not a shock to me, mostly because they need to get a reprint set out of them before they can ban them or limit them or whatever. But I think it is one of the things that could potentially become problematic in terms of like staleness moving forward. Thankfully, as of right now, I think the 2 main decks, Sword Soul and Despia, those are like the 2 big decks right now. Neither of them really want to be playing the adventure token stuff, so I don't think it's going to be a super big problem immediately, but it could be. Maybe the Therian stuff is super broken, Adventure Therians is really broken. Maybe something like that happens and we get a stale metagame, but I think this is a nice hit to affect that package basically. So what the issue is that Red Rose Dragon plus the Rite of Arameser, if you open these 2 cards, where the fuck is this card? Okay. Yeah, if you open this card and the Red Rose Dragon, or some combination of a Tuner plus Rite, you can make Halqifibrax and get out the Red Rose Dragon from your deck. You can still do this combo, it's just a lot less consistent because you're not going to be opening the Red Rose Dragon as often. The issue is opening these 2 cards in tandem, or some combination of a way to get to these 2 cards is just it's an insurmountable advantage. It's so disgusting. It's like one of the best 2-card openings in the format. So I think this is an appropriate hit. I would have liked to see the adventure stuff get hit instead, but the weird thing about the adventure stuff is it's like, where do you hit it really? Right, I guess you could hit this, you could hit the temple. What is the guy? Temple thing? This guy, the Enchantress. But both of them search the other one, and it's just like, I don't know. If you hit right, then it becomes too inconsistent. If you hit temple, then it doesn't hit it enough. It's like a weird balancing act. I think the Red Rose Dragon is an appropriate initial reaction to that, while still being able to juice the reprint set that they're inevitably going to put the adventure token stuff into. Okay, next one. I think that's a good hit. By the way. Yata Garasu. Yata Garasu. Until, this morning, I thought this guy was a winged beast. So I was like, oh, shit. Floanderiz is going to tutor him. Oh, shit. Tri-Brigade. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Turns out, he's a fiend. That was just wrong. But, solid unban. I love this card. Look at this artwork. Iconic. Really, really sick card. This card can lock out your opponent. You know, if you get to that state in the game where you can attack them directly for 200, your opponent's game just ends. Opponent's game just ends. Obviously, it's a little inconsistent to find this guy since he's not a winged beast like I had assumed. It's a little inconsistent to, rely on him locking out the game because getting a direct attack through today's boards it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. But hey, I'm excited to see if it does anything at all. Very cool card to be unbanned. I have a first edition one, so I'm very happy about this. That'll probably price spike through the roof. If you guys don't have a copy of Yata, definitely look into picking one of those up. What a sick card. What a sick card. Iconic. One of the most iconic Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This is probably top 5 in my favorite cards of all time. Very happy to see him unbanned. As an old school player, as someone who's just like really excited to see the game thrive, Yata, sick unban. Sick unban. Okay. What's next? Ooh, Halqifibrax Limited. I think this is not relevant. not relevant, but just like, why? Why limit him? Every deck was only playing one anyway. I guess it's kind of just a hedge, like in case he starts to get abused, they want to be just extra careful, make sure he doesn't get abused. They also probably want to tank the price of him a little bit. He was a little bit overvalued. I think he did just get reprinted, so he dropped a lot in price, but it's one of those cards that could easily spike back up again, and keeping him limited makes it so that it's like, you know, it's one of those cards that it's hard to buy out reliably from like the people who are doing those like market manipulation bullshit things. So yeah, I think this is a heads up limit from Konami. A lot of people are like, why do that? I see it. If it can be abused, and same thing with the next card, which is Shooting Riser Dragon. This guy combos a lot with the Halqifibrax, and limiting it to 1 means it can't be abused too much. I think you can only use its effects once per turn, but you know what? It's a powerful card. It gives you a Foolish Burial on the summon, which is an insane effect. Insane effect gets you access to your Fairy Tale Snow, straight up. But I think limiting these cards is just like kind of a way of saying like, all right, chill out with that stuff, basically. Otherwise, we'll hit it more. We're not afraid to hit it down to 1. We might even hit it more. So it's like a threat. It's like an unspoken threat from Konami. I like it. I like the hit. Okay, next up, is it the big one? Oh, it's the big one. Oh, it's the big one, baby. Change of Heart. Change of Heart. Are you serious? This card hasn't been unbanned since fucking Metal Raiders. Let's go. Change of Heart. Poggers. Okay, this card sucks. Let's be honest. This card doesn't do anything. It'll see no play. You know what's funny is like you look at every YouTuber's thumbnail, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they unbanned Change of Heart. And here we're over here with like 3 triple tactics talent, like this card's just better. But yeah, Change of Heart. Change of Heart is a very, very hype unban. I'm excited to see if it does anything at all. It might see some play. I don't think Mind Control sees any play, and I think Mind Control is basically Change of Heart. It's like slightly worse because you can't attack. Change of Heart might facilitate some OTK reversals, which is pretty cool. I actually might be trying this card out in Despia because I think it has a lot of solid application in that deck, or in decks that have the ability to put a shitload of damage in play, or to put a bunch of damage into play and then summon a Masquerade and say good luck, have fun. I think Change of Heart is very good there. So I am definitely going to experiment with this card. I just don't think it's that much better than playing like Triple Tactics Talent. I'm going to be honest. Triple Tactics Talent is like, it's Change of Heart, but it doesn't target. It gets around the weakness of Change of Heart. Also, Triple Tactics Talent has the ability to be a Forceful Sentry or a Pot of Greed as well. And I'm already like maxing this. I might try Change of Heart as like the 4th. Maybe try it in like a dedicated going 2nd Despia list, but it's not going to see play. I'm going to be honest. I'm more excited to see what Yata does than to see what Change of Heart does, because we already have so many Change of Heart effects. It's not like Change of Heart is like an effect we don't already have. Yata is kind of like a weird sort of OTK card, if you think about it that way. This card facilitates something that we don't really have currently, whereas Change of Heart, we have a million of these effects, you know. Seeing this go to 1, it'll probably go to more. We'll probably see Mind Control even go to more, or Change of Heart go to more in later ban lists. I don't see this card being super prevalent, especially with monsters like fucking Borel and Dragon like being the end boards right now. I don't see Change of Heart being a card that sees too much play. Maybe. I could be wrong. I could be proven absolutely wrong. It's not like Snatch Steal, and this is kind of one of those weird things where Snatch Steal is like worse than Change of Heart, kind of, but it's better because it's an equip spell, which means you can tutor it very easily. Whereas Change of Heart, you can't really tutor it that easily. So having 1 Change of Heart is kind of high variance. It's kind of not so good going first. Actually does nothing going first. So I don't know. I don't think we'll see much of Change of Heart. We might see some Yata though. Okay, next one. Next card on the list. Scrolling down. Time Seal, another OG classic. Time Seal getting unbanned. This card is really interesting. I wonder if there's a way to generate a lock with this. And I also wonder if that lock is easier to generate than a Yata lock. I think it's probably harder to set up a Time Seal lock than a Yata lock, but I'm trying to think if there's a way. I don't think there's a way. Very juicy limits, very juicy cards coming off the unbanned list, or not unbanned list, but ban list. Very juicy cards coming off the forbidden list. You know what I'm saying. Excited about all of these, actually. I am maybe a little bit sus on the Jet Synchron unban. I think this might be a little bit too preemptive. I think they probably should have banned Scythe before bringing this guy back. But here we are. Here we are. Okay, now time to get into the real juicy stuff. Semi-limited. We got Dynamite, the true Draco fighter. I don't know what this card does. I'm going to read it for the first time right now. To summon this card, you contribute a continuous spell or trap card you control instead of a monster. Okay, who cares? Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, while you control this tribute summon monster, you can take one True Draco or True King continuous trap from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand. It's not hard once per turn, which is interesting. Okay. Who cares? Next card. Oh, let me add it in there. Okay, yeah. Who cares? Humegalol? Draco fighter? Humegalol? Next card is the card everybody's talking about. Cyber Angel Benten, baby. This card is so sick. Fairy's Best Deck, Poggers. I love this card. I actually, I'm very lucky. I ordered a secret rare one like last week for like $2, and now they're like $20. I'm super happy about this. Super happy about this. But then I'm also like upset because now I have to get another one to match. But still happy I got the one. This card is so dope. If you tribute this card from anywhere, from your hand, from your field, from wherever, you get to add a light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. This is very broken. Obviously, it's abused in the Drytron archetype. You know the Drytron cards. They're basically like the modern day dragon rulers. The Drytrons, they tribute Benten. They search a fairy. They special summon. They search another card. Easy +1s all around. Having 2 Benten is awesome because the first Benten can now search for the second Benten. And then you can get 2 Bentens in circulation. I'm not sure why that's good, but it's probably all right. It's probably decent. And it also means you're going to open Benten more often, which is great. It's a great thing for the Drytron deck. I think this is a nice thing for the Drytron deck that Konami did because they banned Predaplant Verte Anaconda. The Drytron deck is going to have to figure out something very different in order to play the game. Most of their end boards were involving Verte Anaconda as of right now. I know branded Drytron is like the most popular flavor of the month Drytron that people are using, people are talking about, that sort of thing. But I'm happy Ben 10 goes to 2. It's a huge buff to decks that are playing fairy monsters. And as you know, I love fairy monsters. They're my favorite type in the game. They're my favorite sort of archetypes. Like, I love all the Archlord guys. I love all the fucking Herald guys. Those guys are so sick. They're not very interactive, but, you know, hey, here we are. Okay, next card. Next card that got unlimited. Or not unlimited, but semi-limited. Fire Formation Tenki. I don't agree with this. I think this card should be limited. I think this is a... I don't know. Maybe they just want to buff Tri-Brigade a little bit, because Tri-Brigade has done virtually nothing in the last few months. So, 2 or 1, it's not really a big difference, but I feel like these types of effects, these types of reinforcement of the army type effects, I think having them at more than 1, it's like, it's kind of an issue. It's kind of an issue. Small issue, but you know what? Help out the Tri-Brigade deck. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce the name Tri-Brigade. I can't pronounce that deck, so I'm annoyed by this. But if you can pronounce the deck, I can see why this would be a good thing for you. Yeah, definitely. Okay, next card. Pot of Desires. So I talked about this in my last ban list video, which got like 3 views. Lol. But I have a take on this card that I think a lot of people might agree with, might think is different or whatever. I think this card should be fucking banned. I hate this card. And the reason I hate this card is because it only promotes pay-to-win strategies. Basically, when a new deck comes out, like, at the time when Pot of Desires got limited in the last ban list, I was very happy about it because Pot of Desires was promoting, like, the newest archetypes because they have no cards on the Forbidden Limited list. They have no cards getting, like, you know, hit by the ban list, so it just promotes you playing the newest strategy. This card is very bad when you have a limited card that you can banish off of it, or a card that you only play one of that you banish off of it. So it definitely is better in the decks that are playing, you know, 3 of everything. Like, at the time it was Sword Soul, at the time it was, you know, Lyrilusk, and they all had 3 of everything, and they were just the newest decks, and they were the best decks because they could play 3 Desires. Usually the decks that can play Desires are the best decks, and that's just the way it is. So I think having 2 of it is... I'm not happy about it. It's a big buff to Sword Soul. However, I will say, with that all in mind, the current metagame right now, there are a lot of decks that have cards that don't want to be banished that they're playing 1 of. So, for example, let's talk about Despia, the best deck in the format. You've got Ad Libitum, which is like a card you don't want to play more than 1 of. You've got Dramaturge, which is a card you don't want to play more than 1 of. You don't want to banish these cards off your Desires because you want them as options in your deck. Alternatively, those decks already have their, like, sort of Fright Fur patchwork. They have their Pot of Desires. So in this instance, Pot of Desires is actually probably helping out the rogue decks compete a little bit more with Despia, compete a little bit more with the stuff that is the high tier right now, which is also, to mention, the adventure stuff. So the Rite of Eremacer, they play 1 Fateful Adventure, they play 1 Griffin, they play 1 Dracoback. Banish any one of those, you've neutered your engine. So this is a way to sort of buff decks to come back and compete with the tier 1 decks playing 1-ofs again. It's kind of an interesting cycle with Pot of Desires. I think that if the top tier decks are playing more 1-ofs, I think Pot of Desires is a good thing in the format. If the top tier decks are playing 3 of everything, I think Pot of Desires is very unhealthy. So that's kind of an annotation to my previous take where I don't like this card. I think there are metagames where this card is healthy, and I think there are metagames where it's not. And I think this specific metagame, it's actually, you know what? I'm reconsidering everything in real time right now. I think it's pretty cool that Pot of Desires went to 2. I'm going to be honest. It's a nice little buff to Sword Soul. Nice little buff to the other decks. Okay, cool. Next card, Trickstar Light Stage. This card is cool. This card is actually really cool. I'm going to do a video in the near future with a player who's had some YCS success with this card. I'm very happy to see it go to 2. I think this card is sweet. I think it's very sweet. I think the whole, like, little circus acty cards that they have are pretty cool. I think it's a cool little archetype, you know. Oh, this isn't like a circus act thing. It's like a pop star thing. Ew, cringe. Get this shit out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like the little Trickstar engine. I think it's kind of cool. The little packages that have made their way into certain decks, like Invoke decks and whatnot. It's cool to see this go to 2. Okay, next card. Wall of Revealing Light. This card has only ever enabled degenerate shit, so I'd say just ban it. You know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be a card that says pay most of your life points and get an upside for it. I think that's it's abusable. It's abusable to say the least. But it is a trap card. It is a continuous trap card. It's probably not going to change much going to 2. But if you could find a way to abuse this, if you could find a way to take advantage of putting yourself to very low life points, I don't love it. I don't love those types of strategies. I know some people do. So maybe it's hype for them. Also, it's an old school card coming back, you know. What a sick artwork. I love the whole, like, you know, use of lens flare on this card and Swords of Revealing Light. How do I spell that? Swords of Revealing. There we go. I love this iconic lens flare. So sick. Love that for these artworks. But overall, don't really love the degen strategies this enables. To be fair, we already have fucking Mystic Mine at 3, so it's like, who's playing this when you can play Mystic Mine for the actual effect? You're usually only playing this to enable something like Self-Destruct Button. Obviously, Self-Destruct Button is banned, so yeah, maybe it's fine. And then finally, last but not least, the unbans. First card that got unbanned was Night Assailant. I don't know how I feel about this. Actually. This feels like, could this be abused? Is there a way to abuse this in Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, some sort of mass driver, maybe? Some sort of, like, effect that discards cards to burn the opponent? I feel like this could be abused. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this. Especially with like Sangan at 3, right? You can go like there's got to be a way to abuse it, right? Sangan link off into Almirage, and then search Night Assailant, and then maybe there's a way to abuse that. I'm not sure. It feels abusable. It feels abusable. They should probably errata this to be like once per turn or something, or just not unban it. But maybe I'm capping. Okay, next card, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Whew, this card. Sheesh. Unbanned. Artwork's not even gonna load. It's not even gonna load. What is this card? When this card is synchro summoned, you can banish up to 1 card each from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard. The card in the hand is chosen at random. How do I feel about this card being unbanned? Well, it's kind of hard to synchro summon because it takes 2+ non-tuners. So you need 3 bodies to put this out. It's kind of a very fair effect because going first, it only hits 1 card. So you have to spend 3 cards to hit 1 card. There's already cards that kind of do this easier. Chaos Dragon Levianeer comes to mind. And Chaos Dragon Levianeer is like tutorable. So yeah, iconic card goes to 3. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier a lot. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled to see if anything with Trishula comes up. Because, you know, Jet Synchron did just get unbanned. You know, there might be a Synchron deck that abuses Trishula. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, next card. Salamangreat Mirage Stalio. This card was limited. What does this card do? Salamangreat Mirage Stalio. Okay, this card was limited. You can detach 1 material from this special summon when Salamangreat monster from your deck in defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster except for fire. If the succeed summon card is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of Salamangreat, you can target 1 monster on the field, return it to the hand. It's a hard once per turn card. Yeah, why was this on the ban list? I don't think this deck is good. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a very bad deck. But yeah, I don't even know. I don't know why like a hard once per turn card would be on the ban list. Maybe there's a way to abuse this. I don't see it. But shout outs to everyone who plays this deck. I really don't like this deck, partially because I just don't like the artwork all that much. I think the artwork on this deck is pretty mediocre. Like, it looks like a really... Like, look at this card. What is this, even? It's like a cat thing with... Like, what are these cards? They look to me like reject wind-up artwork. You know, like the wind-up archetype with, like, wind-up kitten, this kind of thing. These cards look so dope. These cards look so cool. Wind Up Rabbit is one of the sickest looking cards. Like, all of these toys, like, man, it's like such a cool combination of like a wind up toy plus a little dude, you know what I'm saying? Whereas like the Salamangreat, it's like it doesn't have a theme. Like, what does Salaman even mean? What does a great even mean? Like, the theme is that they're all on fire loosely. It looks like a weird art style. This guy looks tight, actually. The fox looks tight, but the other guys don't look that cool. Yeah, like it's like really like clunky, awkward artwork. So yeah, ew. Actually, unhappy about this unban. Very unhappy about it. Get this shit out of here. Okay, next unban. A Hero Lives. Oh, dude, A Hero Lives. This is Pog. Actually, this is Pog. I love the Hero decks. Oh, this goes up here. Okay, yeah, I love the Hero decks. I'm happy to see this go to 3. I think the Hero decks are super cool. I have a few friends who play the Hero decks in paper, and they're probably super happy about this too. Stratos is already at 3. You know what? Just put this to 3 too. This is a fantastic starter. It does have a very real cost. Half your life points is huge. It makes it very easy to get reversal by maybe something like Change of Art. We might see Change of Art come in to counter the Hero decks. So yeah. I like this card. I like this card being at 3. It's Poggers. It's Pog. Okay, next card. Ooh, Salamangreat Circle. Same thing. Salamangreat Circle. And maybe this card is broken. What does this card do? It's a quick play. Target 1. Add 1 to your hand. Target 1 link material. Unaffected by monster effects. So this hopes you play through, like, interruptions, I guess. But not really. Because you have to resolve the first one, and then that one can get interrupted, and then they link it off to make the next one. I guess it's just like a shitty Rhoda. Cool art, though. This one has cool art, I will say. I like the atom and the fire and like the sort of like the celestial symbol in the background is pretty cool. I don't like some of the artwork on this archetype though, so it's gonna be a hard pass for me. Okay, next card, Scapegoat. Go Control in 2022. Anyone? This is actually such a sick unban. This is such a sick unban for the first time. For the first time since like 2005, this card gets unbanned. Goat players rejoice. Goat players rejoice. This is such a cool card. I have a Scapegoat plushie. It's like one of my favorite plushies. This card is obviously not as abusable as it used to be because, you know, you can't summon other monsters a turn you activate this card. So it's like a very real downside. It's like an insane downside. You have to play it in a slow sort of fashion. You have to like end phase Scapegoat and then untap and then do something. But in order to do that, you have to survive a whole turn, which is just like a hard order when you're basically cucking yourself out of a card with the Scapegoat. So yeah, I'm happy to see it unbanned. I don't think it's a good unban, but overall, or not a good unban. I don't think it's like a game-breaking unban, but very happy. As an old school player, very happy to see it. Very, very happy to see it. Okay. We're getting to the tail end of this video. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure to do that. If you like this kind of thing. Oh, wait, that's the last card. Scapegoat was the last card. That's so hype. You know, it begins and it ends on Scapegoat. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh began when Scapegoat was printed, more or less. I feel like Goat format was the first format where I was like, okay, this is Yu-Gi-Oh now. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh is about. And you know what? We're back to another format that I think is going to be fantastic. I'm excited to see the decks that come out of this ban list. I'm excited to see Despia, Sword Soul. I'm really excited for this metagame. I think this metagame is going to be super hype. I'm super happy about the Verte and the Prank Kids ban. Fuck these cards. I fucking hate them. I'm really happy about a lot of things here. You know, the Change of Heart, Yata. Even Pot of Desire is coming back. This is a card that maybe I've changed my opinion on. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit 5K by June. And see you guys in the next vid. Peace.